Hello. In this video, we're going to walk through the workflow for GrabCad Print, which is the software used to program the Stratasys J35 in the Shed makerspace. There is a computer in the makerspace that has this software loaded, so you're welcome to use it there. We'll be using Fusion 360 as our CAD software. You can also process files from your favorite CAD software. It doesn't matter. Are there other details for this? I don't believe so. So yeah, in this one, we're going to go from Fusion 360 to GrabCad Print, and we'll talk about setting up your files in GrabCad Print. It's pretty straightforward. Let's jump into it. So the first thing that we'll do is open up our file in Fusion 360. So I have this, I am not sharing my screen. I have this CAD file for a mechanical pencil body. It's for a Pentel P20X pencil body. 207 is the 0.7 millimeter, which is my favorite. You can choose your own adventure on that. Maybe you like the 0.5 millimeter. Maybe kind of ham-fisted like me, you need the 0.9. Either way, this pencil body works for all of them. And so I like to carry a clipboard and a mechanical pencil, and I often also want a machinist scale. And I always liked the look and feel of an architect scale that has a bunch of different scales on a thing with a triangle cross section. So I made this mechanical pencil body that has scales on it. You can see here, and I will post a link to this CAD file. You're welcome to copy it and change it and do whatever you want with it. If I did something foolish and you can open the original file, please don't change my original file. Thanks. Otherwise, it's a pretty good example. This is complicated because I've been iterating on it for a while. I use it to keep the printer running. It is an inkjet printer, and it works a lot better if you run it all the time. So I print a bunch of these and I use them as sort of work party favors. Anyway, so we have this pencil body. It's a tube, it has a clip, it has an inch scale, it has a millimeter scale. They go from opposite sides. The scales are actually bodies in there. You can see them, and there's a transparent body around this. If you open the file, you can check it out, and that's why these shapes look weird. It is because this printer will print in a transparent ink, and you can make a transparent shell around your part. It's super cool. It's more transparent in some orientations than others. You can also like wet sand it with super fine sandpaper and get it to be kind of optically clear. There are details around that with UV curing that I read the instructions and then promptly forgot all about it. They exist. You can check them out on the Stratasys guides. Anyway, so this has a body for the pencil. It has bodies for the scales, and then it has bodies for the clear shell. Anyway, that all exists. You're welcome to go through and critique my CAD model and whatever you'd like to do with this, except edit the original. Thank you. And we are going to export this file. So file, export. And we're going to change the type to a step file. Not an STL, a step file. And this is a exchange format for CAD files. So I'm going to export that. It's going to go into my downloads. And turns out that I've already exported this version, and that's okay. I'm just going to replace it. Cool. So it's exported. It's done. Now we're going to move to GrabCad print. So I'll open that up. Here we are. We're in GrabCad print. And this is controls the printer, or makes the files that control the printer. And I'm going to add models to it. So I'll import my models here. I can click this. You can click this button up here. And here we go. Triangle pencil, a bunch of stuff, V10. It opens it up. And remove my thumbnail. Takes a minute because there are a ton of tiny little bodies in this thing. So here we go. We're gonna wait. I suppose this is when I regale you with a funny personal story. I'm not sure that I have one. All right, it's loading. We're getting there. At this point, you decide that you probably want to watch this video in 2x. I wouldn't blame you. All right, here we go. Takes a while. Bunch of little bits. This is starting to be a lot like college radio. Followed by dead air. And that's the best I can do for a joke today. Right. Oh, the video did not freeze. I just am having trouble thinking of a funny story. We're getting there. Maybe I'll edit this out. Oh, progress bar is moving. Okay. Thank you for bearing with me. So this is all going to open up, and probably because they're a bunch of teeny tiny pieces and they all touch each other, there will be self-intersections or some problems with the model, but we're going to get there in just a minute. So, okay, here we go. Cool. We got tons of bodies. Over here in the left, that's showing all of them. It's at 100%. This area on the right is the preview for the build platform on the printer. It's a ring, so this thing is a turntable. And then, yeah, here we go. It's a turntable, and it has inkjets and a ultraviolet lamp that cures the ink as it prints layer by layer. Great. So now we have a list of all of our bodies and all of this stuff over here on the left, and a preview here on the right. And if you look at it and highlight it, you can kind of see the outlines of a bunch of this stuff, but it's all the same color. So I happen to know that I want the main body to be, I'll make this one white. So this thing prints in black, white, and clear ink and a support material. We can get other inks, but we don't have them set up at this time. There is a thermoplastic elastomer. It's like grippy, it's like rubbery, which could be nice. It'd be really nice for this application because you grip it. Anyway, it's loaded, so I'll stop digressing. So I'm going to load this, I'm going to highlight this body, and then I'm going to set the model parameters for it. So I can change the tray settings, I can change the model info. And before I do that, I need to deal with these errors. So it throws up these errors, and you can fix them over here. 5 model errors detected. So I'm going to click on this. So probably intersections where it shows 2 pieces in the same place. So if you hit repair all models, it just fixes it. Great. So it has repaired them all. Now I'm going to leave this mode. I'm going to go back. Yep, cool. And it doesn't show any errors, so it's trimmed everything so it doesn't intersect itself. Great. Moving right along, I want to change the color of this body. So these will print in black and white. They'll also print in grayscale. So I could make it some percentage grayscale, but I want this to be white. So here on this ribbon on the right lets you set up your print and change the things. So I'm going to change the model settings for our body. And I could change the grayscale. I could make it 100%, a little slow. I could also change the how opaque it is. So I could make it all clear, and then it would print in clear ink, but like I don't want that. So I want this to be 100% opaque. I could change these for the different bodies if I wanted. When I designed this, I designed it to use the tray materials. I also, because I use this as sort of like a maintenance print for the printer, I want to make sure that it uses all the materials. So I'm going to highlight this body and I'm going to pick the tray materials. So here in the model material, I can choose grayscale or the tray materials. If this were a different model printer, I could choose digital materials or different colors. But this one only prints in black and white. So I'm going to pick tray materials and I'm choose white, Vero Ultra White. It's cool that it like gives you the mechanical properties as well. Cool. So I'm going to make that white. And it's not showing up. You can actually only see it on the end because the clear shell on the outside is showing up as the default, which is like 40% grayscale or something. So I'm going to highlight the clear shell and I'm going to change it to be, I don't want it to be grayscale. I want to use the tray materials and I'll use Ultra Clear S because it's clear. Click it. And it's taking a minute to update, but there, and now it updates it to clear. And now I have these grayscale scales on my white body with a clear shell. Great. And then I've labeled the different scales and I put my name on it because I'm proud of it. The nameplate, if you control click these, you can select them. And I'm going to, so these have like a ton of bodies because each of these little lines is a body. So I'm not going to expand them. And I'm going to make them black because the body is white and I want a lot of contrast. Great, cool. They're black. I could change the finish. Looking through the instructions, matte finish will give you slightly more dimensional accuracy. I've printed a number of these in glossy and honestly, I couldn't tell the difference. So I tend to leave this at matte. There are more settings. I suppose you could choose support if you wanted, but I don't, or base and core. So this has to do with this, or the, how you do this. Not going to get too worried about it. I'm going to leave those unchecked. Great. So I've set the properties for all of my bodies, right? So I've chosen each one of these and I've picked their color and those are all assigned. And I'm going to keep the whole thing assembled. And then I want to arrange it on the printer. So the model settings are here. The next one down is arrange, and you hit it, you arrange the tray, and it moves your models around to optimize for 3D printing. And you wait a minute. And it's just long enough that I feel like I need to do something to entertain you. Um, you've probably solved that because you said 2x. The last time you had to sit through me waiting for the computer. Um, Great. So there it is. It's on the print tray. You'll notice that it's very close to the center because it's a turntable and you can get faster print speeds if you keep it close to the center. So it optimizes for that. You could move it if you wanted. So I can select the whole thing and then I could orient it. I could reset it. I could change the rotations. I don't feel like I need to do that with this model, but play with it. It's not going to hurt anything. You can always reset it or automatically arrange them again. What else might I want to do? You might want to duplicate these. So if you right click on them, you can duplicate them. You can mirror them. So you wanted to make a right and left. I don't know. I'm not sure what a left would look like on this, like the mirrored one. It might make the scales different. I don't know. Let's find out. Let it. What happens? I hope it makes all my text backwards. That would be cool. Here we go. Watching that progress bar. And we'll do it. What happens? Okay, so I made another one. I'm going to zoom in and see if it's backwards. It in fact is. That's ridiculous. And for the sake of this video, I'm not going to make you sit through another progress bar. So I will arrange them. It'll arrange the tray and place them close to the center. There will be one that's backwards. It's moving them around. We're waiting. Ooh, we have a progress bar. Great. Mm-hmm. And it places two of them quite close to the center. So there is a dead space in the table that it won't print on. So you can't have them all the way around. But it's pretty expansive, and you can print like parts that are sort of horseshoe shaped that go all the way, like almost all the way around. It's kind of cool. Okay, great. So we have our two models. One is backward from the other. Doesn't matter. I'm going to highlight them all. Actually, I don't think you even need to highlight them all. And to print this, so you would think that you could hit print. If our printer was connected to the internet, you could. However, we don't have this printer networked. So you need to save this file to a flash drive that you then walk to the printer and select from. We do that for a number of reasons, mostly so people aren't submitting prints to the printer without ever coming to the lab. So to put it on a flash drive, you go to File, Export OBJZF, or Control-Shift-E. You export OBJZF, and you can put this in your downloads. I'm going to put it in a flash drive so that I can this, and then I'm going to name this example print. You hit save, puts it on the flash drive. Another progress bar. Puts it on the flash drive. You take your flash drive out. You walk over to the printer and start the job. And there are prompts for that. There's also a QR code on the printer that points you to a website with directions with a lot fewer pauses and ums and ers because it's in text with photos. Anyway, there it is. It does the export. Experiment with different sorts of models that you may want to print with this. This is the most interesting one I have come up with. I'm sure that you can think of something better. Thank you very much for your time, and happy printing.